The following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Of course! Of course!
I don't have luck, I've just got my pure charisma.
You don't get to use charisma for this.
5.
13.
One very bad number and one very good number.
We don't know which one's which!
Alright. So you guys get ushered onto a long line and it slowly heads towards the gate. You get up there and you get stopped. As the halberds come down. And they're like, oh.
Hello.
Someone says, we're just making sure that no undesirables come in and you stand out from the crowd.
Of course.
Yes. What is your business in Burmany?
I am a travelling cleric of Tor.
Ah, yes. Of course, jewellery can be purchased anywhere. But there's no reason to disbelieve a good cleric of Tor in good standing.
Of
A
course.
good cleric of Tor would, of course, know the blessing of Tor.
Yes.
What was it now? It was go with the good graces of the God of Justice, was it?
No.
Oh, am I
Let
mistaken?
he watch over you who is judge of all the world.
Of course, I remember hearing that now, that's a very correct blessing. And the Burman people certainly appreciate a blessing with another edge to it. It keeps you honest.
Indeed.
No, nasty... What is that?
Why is he out?
He peeked up just for... Like
Damn it,
what's
Scribbles.
going on?
Did we not specifically
That
tell
was
him?
your lucky roll.
Ah,
Your unlucky roll, I should say, because you didn't do terribly well. Is that a rodent?
Yes, it's a little mouse.
Oh, how adorable. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a witch's familiar, would it?
Of course not, I'm a cleric.
So, naturally, I would be able to tempt it out into the open with some cheese. He says the word cheese.
Well, any mouse likes cheese.
Of course. And... Rodent mouse, you say? Now, that wouldn't be a flute I see there. You know, we have a legend in Burmania of a clever man named Hans who used a flute to make all the rodents leave the city with his magic flute.
This is just a mere flute.
It's a very nice flute.
Yes.
And it has an inscription on it in some kind of magic writing.
That's just Elvish.
I don't suppose you would mind playing a little tune on the flute.
No, not at
oh
all.
God, no!
I will play a tune on the flute.
You remember what this flute does, don't you?
The magic flute.
Yeah, but it'll charm them because...
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
But I will specifically
It's like how you can't be a police officer in Cold Rocks if you're a mutant, but Simon keeps passing the tests somehow with his psychic powers.
So, knowing that this will have that effect, I will deliberately try to play a tune that will not have a noticeable effect. That is neither humdrum nor too exciting,
Yeah.
but is still pleasant nonetheless.
competent performance. Very interesting. And these the companions are traveling with you.
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
I'm an Amazon, have to tell.
Believes you completely. Oh, a barbarian woman from the island. Don't get many of you through here. And you... your servant is, filthy.
Yes, he spends too much time taking care of my armor and not enough taking care of his own appearance. I mean, look, you can see your face in this.
Yes, I knew there was something about it I liked. No, you're not very good. I mean, you're better than the other one, I guess. Yeah. Well then, so what is your collective purpose here in Burmany?
Oh, I am just travelling the lands to learn more about them and the people. As a cleric, I want to spread Tor's word.
No doubt you'll be interested in meeting some of your brothers just beyond the wall.
Oh, there are some clerics of Tor just beyond the wall.
Oh, yes, you. A travelling band of judges has set up camp outside the city.
Ah. That's good to know.
Well then. Carry on. Clear, open the portcullis.
May he watch over you who is judge of all the world.
Ha 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 ha.
May you always find shade in water.
That's the way that you
But that's not how magic works!
How does a golem speak? Not true. Yes, that's one of the classic ones. It is objectively not true.
I'm an incredibly dense moron. What? And there.
Oh, what, do you want foyers and dragons?
Neat.
Dude, where the fuck have I put them?
Compilation.
I'm sure one day we'll do the Adrian Clip Show session.
That's now going to be a title screen.
So you pass outside Poznan and into Burmania. And as he said, there is a small cluster of tents right outside. The gates there, like a couple hundred. Not right outside, but out
I know
of
what you
bow
mean.
shot.
Yeah. We'll also wait for Roya to show up, I guess, because she would have come separately after us.
There's a travelling troupe of travelling minstrels and entertainers and jugglers on the side of the road. And before them stands resplendently shining men. They're wearing like shining silver armour with a blinding white tabard, short tabard. It's in like plate and scale and things like that. And their pauldrons are gold. And they have like fine winged helmets, silver trimmed in gold. And as you wait, you hear them. And hold, traveller. We are the judges. What business have you on this road? This road is free for travelling. We are Burman citizens on our business. Then surely your business is not so unholy and foul that you cannot tell us, the servants of justice, about it? Our business is our own. Why cloak things in foul secrecy? When do you hide from the light of truth? Do you hide from Tor's justice? Dark worshipper. But that isn't a ridiculous claim. Then prove it is ridiculous. What is your business on this road? We are traveling entertainers. We are heading into Poznan in hopes of entertaining. It seems, though, that you have had some trouble. Perhaps you would like a healing service? We are all, of course, clerics of Tor, after all. If you do not require any additional healing, have you some secret you are hiding in how you came by these wounds? Why, brother, those look like animal injuries from an attack. Yes. Why have the good animals attacked you? Innocent travelers. We were attacked by wolves one night. So you associate with wolves, known tools of the Dark God. You do insist on digging your own graves with your perfidy, do you not? We do not associate with them. They attacked us. They were driven mad by hunger and attacked us. You know much of the way of wolves, it seems. Driven mad by hunger, almost as though you knew their minds. Come, you must come into our tents and be detained for the questioning. We will find the truth of your association with the Dark God before long.
Is this how you normally do this?
No.
We are innocent citizens. We will not surrender to this. You refuse to come into a cone of truth? How dark is your secrets? That refusing to prove your goodness before the god is an affront to the god. Shh! Weapons are drawn. We do not acknowledge your right to waylay us. Get out of the way. They attempt to push past. It doesn't take long for the armored men to butcher them. Another good day's work. These dark worshippers will spread their taint no longer. Search their belongings and destroy any apocryphal materials. Which they then do.
I was waiting for them, and they were all priests of the Dark One, and they were the zealots were right.
Knight Captain, I do not find any evidence here of any religious iconography or anything else. Heathen dark worshippers. So, we have done good work here today. May he watch over us, who is judge over all the world. They will do that and return to suspiciously eyeing people who are travelling on the road. And then they look over here. And one of them walks over. It is the older one with the iron grey beard that I didn't mention. Oh, travellers of the road, know that I am a judge.
Sephiro, paladin of... No, wait. Cleric of Tor, at your service.
I'm going to allow this. A brother cleric. From what monastery hail you?
Laurantia and Serenia.
A Serenian monastery.
Indeed.
I am Judge Heimdall,
I greet you.
Imperia.
Ah,
We are here seeking out dark worshippers and putting them to the fire.
of course.
Your company is strange. Particularly I am interested in your Zerkan companion, if mine eyes do not mistake thine.
The
eyes.
Amazon?
Interesting. Do you walk in the light of justice?
I've been with Sephiro for many months, so I must.
And you learn much from his tutelage?
I've learnt much from him, yes.
You are doing good work.
Thank you.
Such conversions are tiresome. Will you take meal with us, or are you on your journey?
We are on our journey. We must make haste.
May he watch over you, who is judge of all the world.
May he watch over you, who is judge of all the world.
You'll return. Oh well.
I like how Solon did not lie once, so
No,
she never had to roll.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's the thing that
She
gets
answered very well.
yeah.
And of course, she has this bonus to deceive Tor worshippers.
I thought that was just me.
Well, it's a lesser bonus.
Well, yeah. I mean, like the thing is, like, if Solon tells us anything, we're just like, yeah.
What foul brew is this? Aha! An icon of the Dark God! No, it is just a random burn pattern on our wagon! Then how dost thou explain these rubies you've pushed into the wood?
Okay, they got a real one this time.
Burn you in the holy God of the Dark! Ah! And then they kill the baby. Well, the dark taint will spread for 7 generations.
Well, I mean, who else was going to raise that baby?
The wolves of the more dark worshippers. Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that baby?
So has Roya appeared through the...
Not quite yet.
Yeah.
Oh no! That poor merchant broke the law.
Oh well.
Which one?
So the judges detain, judge, and sentence him.
Hmm.
And then Roya arrives, completely bundled up in a completely concealing cloak.
So how do we know it's her?
Because she walks up and says, "It's me."
Shall we make haste then?
Yes. Okay.
And then we shall casually leave past the...
So everyone give me a charisma check. Severo, you don't have to. They don't suspect you at all.
Oh, okay.
You failed?
Oh yeah.
So you look,
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
so you look guilty as fuck?
Well, I'm
But she's
Zero
She
kills,
looks
so
like
I've got-
Solon. I got a 3.
She passes too. Not enough to get some attention brought upon you. Well, I guess you don't need to be taken to the old wizard's tower.
Oh no! Hang on.
Well, agency! I'm a mage in Dark Worship! Hey, that Curol sounds like a pretty sweet guy. I could get to suck him into my heart with this love straw.
Off we go.
Int roll from you.
No. I mean, I'm not refusing you. I mean, I didn't make the roll.
By how much?
A lot, because I
Yeah.
rolled a 19.
Ooh.
So, like, 4... Yeah.
See, you could have bought religious supplies, like, say, that cannon.
From them,
the
yeah.
judges.
No, I don't want to. Anyway.
You want the cannon from your?
No, no, not the judges. Like, I don't want to deal with them.
The judges are literally just Mega City 1 judges in a fantasy.
They're extremists to
Yeah.
the extreme. Like, they are the worst of to
Do
worst.
they have the?
If you spend too long looking at your teacup, that you are a witch.
Do they have the right to do that when they're not in their own country? I thought most countries outlawed religious people taking matters into their own hands like
It
that.
does
It's
also
hard to
depend
say
on
no to the judges.
it depends on the lord of the land. I mean, he can also. A lot of them are scared of the judges.
Oh, that was in character, by the way.
Oh,
She
That's,
said that.
that's I'm guessing what she said that. Yeah, yeah, they're extremists. So, I mean, we're well out of earshot at this point, I guess. They judge to the extreme. That is not what I'd say that an average Tor representative is like.
Well, I mean, I've met 2 before them, and it was you and Balog. I guess Eamon counts as well, but he's kind of different, isn't he?
Yes. They certainly wouldn't waylay him. They wouldn't dare. He's probably one of the few people who that would apply to, in fact.
Eamon always seemed more like a big cuddly teddy bear to me than a...
You know Eamon?
I mean, from the stories. Good luck! 2!
3.
Snap!
5.
And since her charisma is much better than yours...
I got a 5, but that's probably not quite enough. I've got a 17.
little bit. And what do you get?
I got 3.
A little bit sus. Not anything that might cause you to be sus, but like if you're flag counting, you've got like a
Yeah.
little
I think I know what
orange
you mean.
flag there.
See, I'm not sus of her. I know that she's not telling us the full truth. I'm just listening for the things that aren't true.
So you are flag counting.
Yeah.
But aren't most of the stories about Aemon and just him killing Darkone worshippers and fighting in the wars?
Yes, but you forget that my father is a fisherman, and so they tell different stories.
Do they?
Well, do you not remember the story of Aemon in the rushes and the dragonfish?
No.
Well, instead of slaughtering the fish, he chose to save the child.
I mean, I've never heard this story, so I don't know the context.
Perhaps Saphira will tell it one night around the fire.
Yes, why not?
This obviates the need for me to write it. He's got the gist. Anything he comes up with will be about right.
So he's got to save the baby and not kill the fish.
Yeah.
But then he has to write the other story, which counters it because it's different from somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's obviously just a story where it's impossible. Like the dragonfish should have the baby, and then like Aemon comes up with the impossible solution if he saves everyone.
Well, Aemon, if you remember, was a clever man, and you know how to you and me, chocolate is just a delicious candy, but to air, it's highly explosive. Have you ever noticed how when you unwrap a candy bar, it explodes briefly?
What?
It's gone. You open it up, it's gone.
I don't like candy. It lasts for a long time.
That's only the
This is MacGyver, this isn't MacGyver, I should say. It's the dragonfish story.
You carry on. You ease on down the road ahead.
Are there other roads?
Well, I mean, it branches and little rutty paths and things like that. But the road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it's begun.
So what business do you have in Merlin?
It's on the way.
What's your end destination?
Einvig.
Ah. And what business do you have there?
I am carrying a message, yes.
For your father?
No.
Should I say on behalf of your father?
A mere fisherman. Ha 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 ha. No, we are simple people.
Then why are you taking a message?
I was the cheapest person to go. Yes. They don't have to pay me as much as a worker who would be more capable there.
So what is your profession? I mean,
I weave nets.
you weave nets for your father's fishing boat.
I certainly weave nets.
looked at her hands. If they're not bundled up, oh
She's wearing gloves.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
Making nets is hard. I tried it a couple of times. I wasn't any good at it.
Oh. Well, you know.
She might be able to give you some points next time.
Oh, I don't need to make nets, Sulin.
I never worked on a fishing boat, only
I
a
did at the
military
time, but-
vessel.
But we could use nets to
Didn't
capture
last very
animals.
long.
It would be very useful.
Really?
Yes.
That sounds fascinating.
Not really, the swell of the sea did not agree with me.
And yet you were fine on the river.
Different, I suppose, than the ocean.
Or perhaps you have grown into your destiny.
My destiny.
You really think nets could be useful?
Nets would be useful, yes.
Maybe I'll read some more about it then.
I would suggest reading any of the books that document the pit fights in the more eastern nations tend to do with their slaves. Many descriptions of gladiatorial feats with nets used to entangle their foes and keep them still. It could be quite handy if, say, for example, you didn't want to use magic but still wanted to disable your opponent. A well-thrown net and some skill.
I mean,
so I've heard.
If I don't really use magic and an opponent needs disabled, Zulin probably does it. She's really good.
Indeed.
It's also good to see a woman who is not of nobility as well read as you are.
Yes, it actually all started with tavern stories that I would hear near my father's knee, and I became interested in stories, so I persuaded some of the older women to teach me how to read.
The other... forgive me, but the other common woman, or...?
No, in the town, the merchants and sellers.
Oh, I see.
And they didn't tell you to start off?
I'm persistent.
I don't think that's really worked
What'd
for
you
me
get?
before.
8.
How good is that?
On my intelligence
Was
still pretty good. That's 5.
pretty well spoken for a peasant.
I'm sure she just charmed them into teaching her to read.
Ahaha, you.
Yes, she is very charming.
Indeed.
That look.
Yes, you carry yourself with a quiet dignity that I have not seen very often.
Yes, they've taught you well.
One requires a straight back in order to keep everything dry when walking out to a boat.
What?
Clink.
I mean, Saphira wouldn't have to worry about that because he's so tall.
That is true, although it would hardly be a good idea for me to go wading into water with this armour.
Would be a quick way to catch your death. Even just the boots.
Indeed.
You know, if we're going to be getting on more boats in the future, you should probably try to learn how to move a bit in your armor while in water. Or at least try to do it.
No, I must remove my armour when we're going on a boat. If I were to fall in, there'd be no way I would survive.
Well, the weight would just drag him down, and he would drown.
I would not be able to get it off in time in order to resurface.
Whereas if he was unarmoured, he might bob to the surface and float, and therefore live.
Couldn't you just swim really hard?
Swimming's not a really common
I am
skill.
strong.
No, I mean, I can't swim, yeah.
I am strong,
almost
but
no one can,
Yeah.
even fishermen.
I am strong, but I am not so strong that I could swim against the weight of my own armour.
Even then, if he's armoured, presumably it's because there's a fight going on. And if you're fighting on a boat,
I mean,
perhaps bobbing to the surface might not be the best idea anyway.
Saphira wears his armor all the time, even when we're not fighting. Like right now.
Most of the time. You never know when danger can strike, and one must be ready.
I wear my armor all the time.
Yeah, but you don't wear as much armor as Saphira.
You don't wear as much anything as Saphira.
I don't think I could wear that armor if I wanted to. I couldn't do my job if I did.
No, indeed. After all, let all attention be focused on you as the obvious point of contention, but you notice how she walks off to the side, ready to attack from a flank that they don't expect. Undefended because they're concentrating on you.
You're very observant.
Always attack where they don't expect you to defend.
GC seems to know you fairly well, Sulu.
Spearfishing.
4.
Ah!
It's the worst part
Not
is...
good, not good!
Yeah, I rolled a 1 anyway, so...
Woo!
But I don't believe the spear thing anyway, so that's the worst part.
But you do now.
The thing is, like, I'm not gonna make her roll because, like, she didn't need to make that excuse because, like, that makes sense. Attack where they don't expect you to attack.
Attack where they don't expect you to defend.
Yeah, well, like,
The problem
it just
is
sounds like sound
The
logic.
problem is she's quoting books and actual training.
I haven't read those books.
No.
I read different.
Have you been reading tactical books as well as stories?
Oh no, it's just something from an old story I heard once.
But
It seemed to make sense. It was logical.
See, my problem is I know you can't read that stuff. No, you can't. You can only be taught it.
And
And that's
I would
that's-
say more in a medieval environment, you kind of know it or you don't.
yeah.
Exactly, and I mean, I can roll and go. The thing is, my character would know that.
I mean, I don't think we've got our. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think we've got our equivalent of
I mean,
Sun Tzu in this setting
It's
yet.
like slightly out of. Yeah, that would be Duke Winter.
Yeah.
He'd be the
Just
closest
because
you
things
don't-
exist doesn't mean he's written the art of war.
Yeah, that's
no,
what I
but
mean.
he hasn't written like treatise
exactly.
on it. It's
Yeah.
just
And even if it did, it'd be very, very long and dry.
I was gonna say very dry. Yeah.
the advantages of good Burman sausage. Ah, you didn't get travel wieners.
Well, we didn't get those little sausage things to slot in at the small of our back.
It's because you don't have plate armor yet.
Yeah.
You need like at least light plate before you can get your emergency bratwurst holder.
Only found in Burmanian territories.
So you travel on and on. So eventually you're going to be camping, so I'd like you to describe... First of all, are you just going to doss down on the side of the road, or are you going to go off it a bit and again look for one of those oft-used campy things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can...
So it's usually like we look for one of those.
Who wants to roll their luck? Which is just a straight d20 unless he does it.
Oh.
Because then there's a penalty, because you're unlucky.
9. As
I
I
am... Yeah.
I know where we are.
I'm
So.
just being a cunt. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll accept that. Yeah, you can find a place. So, how are you going about your average camp?
Right.
Let's go set up the fire.
So it's like we find a place. Sirlin does a quick check for traps or anything left behind.
Yeah, so Raya will circle the camp 3 times. One way, then the other way, then the other way again.
3
And-
times.
Yeah, and just like, and then seems to find like the best bit of ground to put her tent and sleeping bag in that hole.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, I circle the camp anyway too, so. And then I set up.
And then she'll start setting up a fire.
Yeah. So yeah, then I come after I circle it. I come back, set up my tent.
Yeah, I mean,
You normally go
So,
and you get wood and
I usually get wood. I usually
usually
start
help
the
with
fire and
getting
stuff because I
wood.
just can.
So she's building a fire with steep side logs and thatch of moss over the top to cut down on light visibility and smoke.
Yep, I've got no problem with that.
I'll just make a fire.
Yeah, that's why you're not doing it.
Yeah, and I rolled.
I'm just
10,
gonna keep watch
whatever
because I can't
want to
do
have
much.
it because again,
Yeah.
it's just.
I just keep watch
also,
over the main camp
I'll
area.
set up the boughs around the camp. I'll just so you know, I've set up lines with boughs around the tent, around our campsite. Don't stray too far.
What a novel idea.
I've also got snares out too, so just
You catch it, I'll cook it.
I don't think it's likely, but we set them anyway.
I do not even know what the fauna is like in this area.
Pretty savage.
I did
was
hear
told
mention.
to expect wolves
I did hear mention of wolves. Yes,
and Burman razor pigs.
and the judge's Burman razor pigs.
In this area? That seems unlikely.
Well, not in this area, but in general.
Well, they
Well,
like
yeah.
wild boar.
We should also be wary of certain birds and arboreal life forms.
Razor pigs are similar to... they're bigger, and their tusks are more efficient at ripping.
Huh. Good meat on them, I imagine, though.
In
If you
some
cook it
places.
right.
It's poisonous in most cases.
Oh.
They're all round not a great animal to come across.
Most of the poisoning problem's actually due to the blood. If you don't kill them in the right manner and drain the blood, it permeates into the meat and can turn it quite toxic.
So what's the correct way to kill them if I was to come across one?
Slit its throat, hang it up by the tail, let it drain out, remove the head.
The normal way I would do it.
Sound reasoning.
I thought there was something special.
It seems special to me. With a fish, you just sort of eat it.
Well, no, you've got to cut it open and remove the guts.
Hold on.
Well, yes. But it's not poison if you don't do it right away.
Actually, there are some fish around the edges of Serenian that are poisonous.
Of course.
Well, they blow up into these big balloons, and you have to be careful, but they're quite the delicacy.
How do you eat them if they're...
You cut away the poisonous bits and eat the bit that's the meaty bit that's not poisonous.
So it's a gamble for your life to see whether you live or die.
How adventurous.
Yes. It's tasty.
I think of better ways to gamble on my life.
You have done better ways to gamble on your life.
It's never a gamble if you... Sure thing.
There are also certain birds you need to watch out for. It's similar to gulls, I've heard around Serenia, but they're much more vicious. They tend to pick at anything that they see, so if you're not careful while you're lying down, they can try to... I've heard cases of them picking out eyes and that sort of thing.
Oh, I've heard of birds that like pecking up people's eyes.
Also, then there's Burmanians.
Wow.
Yes, what are they like?
To eat? I don't
Territorial, predatory. Their common exports are warfare, dominion, and sausage.
Do you travel much through this region?
Never.
You seem to know an awful lot about it.
I was told much before I left.
I suppose if you're travelling through here, it does well to be prepared.
The average Bourbon male likes leather shorts, sausages, and beer. He also likes a good story, though not one that generally involves witchcraft or magic, which he distrusts.
Most Burman men are also fairly well trained. At around 11 or 12, the certain members of the army come through and train all the young men in villages and that sort of thing.
Interesting.
Apparently it helps to keep up with in case they need to inflate the army with civilian numbers.
Wow, that's callous. I assumed it replaced the tradition of like a bell festival or harvest festival in places like Merland and Serenia, where peasants would compete with bow and staff and other such things.
It kind of serves as both.
Sounds more like they're just recruiting for the next inevitable war.
I don't see any problem with being prepared to fight and kill. I mean, that's how I was trained from a very young age.
Well, that was your calling, was it not?
We're all taught to, well, except for the wise ones, but you don't know if you're a wise one until later on.
And how do you find out?
I wouldn't know, I've never...
So, it's not something you know.
No.
A wise one would know, and they would say, you.
It's what I've seen.
Very interesting. Fascinating. I suppose it'd be too much trouble to go there. I mean, that's a long way away from where I'm heading.
At least you'd be able to probably leave without being killed.
I hear no one leaves those islands.
They wouldn't allow you to leave if you know their secrets.
Even her.
Anyone.
But you're allowed to go out and speak of them, or do you not tell us those things?
How much have I told you?
A fair amount, but you've also
But
kept a
not
fair
about
amount
the wise
back.
ones, though.
No, not about the wise ones, but
I honestly have not told you much.
I suppose in the grand scheme of things, you haven't.
I mean, most magical groups are very secretive of their magic to the outside world.
I don't know anything of our magic.
You see, they're so secretive that even within their own culture, the people they trust know little. So to go there and then potentially learn something, it's unlikely they'd let you leave.
Probably best not to speak of those things while in this country. Even when we think we're alone.
Disappointing.
What?
That we can't discuss these things. I enjoy learning.
It is a shame, but one must be cautious. Who
What's
knows?
disappointing is when Ventuzla changes the way to get into his tower.
Anyway, we've got better things to do. We need to train you.
We
with your
certainly
staff.
shouldn't be talking about that.
No. You shouldn't discourage him from practicing
Did
his
you hear
social
that?
skills. No, what?
I didn't hear the bells, though.
The bells are only for when they come close.
How am I meant to hear them?
I only hear the
otherwise?
wind and the willows.
Anyway, we need to train you with your staff.
Oh, right. Try not to beat me up too much.
Doesn't he already know how to use one?
No, he knows how to swing one.
I can use one, but there's always room for improvement. I mean, usually I just use an enchanted one, so it's a lot easier.
I mean, anybody can swing an object around and hope to hit somebody, but then this technique.
That's what I do. Just swing shit around. It's worked so far.
Well, maybe we can help you with that.
Maybe we can, but I feel myself coming down somewhat tired. I believe I will retire into my tent alone.
2.
She specifically say that while giving me a
Oh,
look.
she absolutely does then retire into her tent.
I know. Anyway, Saphira, we need to train some more too. But we'll get this one started with some basic moves.
Oh, shame I didn't get to tell the story about the fish and the baby.
There's other nights.
We have a story about Eamon and mages and a baby, but he killed the mages. They were evil.
Appropriate.
Well, you know, evil mages should be killed.
So
Same should be
all
said for
we'll
evil
do
clerics,
This
of
one
course.
is just basic step thrust.
I mean,
Exactly.
you should always drill the basics.
That's exactly right.
Because, like, proficient is basically, you can use this without hurting yourself, isn't it? It's
Proficient is actually you can fight at a basic level.
not like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not fancy swashbuckling stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like fucking Darth Maul choreography. It's like
But it's you don't smack. Yeah, like you said,
it's
you
you
don't smack
can
yourself in
deflect
the
a
face.
sword well enough.
Yeah.
You can hit someone with it more
Without
often.
dropping it most of the time.
You're not Matrim Coughlin. You're
Thing is,
probably closer to Little Dab or something.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I know that you have.
Well, I'm training with the OSA. We should probably work out our watches for the night as well.
Well, if we. Well, she's retired, so if we just carry on the normal.
I wouldn't expect a young woman such as herself to do the watching.
How old do you think I am?
Yes, but you were trained to be a warrior from a very young age.
Yeah, this woman seems to be like about 19 or so.
She's like 3 years older than me.
I think Sulan's younger than that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like 17.
I'm about 17, yeah. I'm fucking young.
Well, not in a medieval setting.
No,
yeah.
not really evil sitting, no.
And I still think you're the youngest of the party.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that, like, even if I was 50, I would be young for a wizard.
I mean, I think the oldest member of the party you've had is Seraphine.
Which is
she's an
200.
She is like 200 or 300 years old.
Yeah.
But that's still young.
Well, for a half elf,
Yes,
that's
that's pretty good
that's
actually.
pretty good.
Mm.
Still got tons of life ahead of you, unless you're stupid, which you are, because you're a half elf. You don't have all the sagacious wisdom that a full-blooded
got
elf
that-
can
yeah.
get, but you can choose to have it.
They've got that spontaneity and
Right,
impulsiveness.
so I have rolled that you did not get attacked on your journey. But I'm thinking I might change my mind because still got him on watch all by himself.
So the thing is, right, first watch. Are you going to remove the moss? Because the moss
And build the fire up.
damps down your ability to read.
Yes.
Right, so you wake up.
Do you want me to bother making a roll?
No,
No, you
Okay.
just would.
Okay,
You
yeah.
would,
Yeah,
yeah.
you would.
No, I mean to see if I hear anything or anything.
No,
Yeah. At a negative 10 penalty.
It doesn't matter. I've decided you weren't going to get attacked.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
you can. Let's presume you've made perception rolls, but nothing to see is nothing to see.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make you. You might roll a 20 and then be like, "Damn it, I've blown that." Or you might not. Whatever.
so you got to wake me up.
Oh, Sulan.
My turn for watch, is it?
Yeah.
It's bright.
Why is the fire so bright?
Well, I was having difficulty reading.
What? But you're on watch.
Well, yeah, I was looking up every now and then.
I kick Saphiro.
My
not so rough, honey.
This is Saphiro.
No, what? Oh, Sulan. What is it? Oh, what the?
Saphiro.
It's bright.
Yes.
Why is the fire undimmed?
I'll sort the fire out. Can you explain to Adrian about watch?
Okay.
That reading books and looking up occasionally and putting the fire up this bright is. Anyway, I fixed the fire.
Adrian, yes, the fire was dimmed with the moss for a reason, so that others couldn't see us from a distance.
Yeah, it makes it hard to read, though.
Your eyes will adjust in time
You're not
to the
supposed
light.
to read. I'll go do a circuit. I'll go and do a circuit just to make sure.
You are supposed to mostly be keeping your eye on things, not reading your books.
But it's dark. How would I see anything if it didn't get close?
Your eyes will adjust to the darkness over time. I mean, it's a mostly clear night. There's stars.
You try to read a book just off stars.
It isn't about reading the book. It's about looking around you, listening, and I mean, how can you tell the difference between a rustle in the bushes when you're doing this?
It's a very obvious noise, Saphira.
Russell! No, sorry.
If you knew anything, you'd know that.
Yes, but this is masking your ability to hear a rustle in the bushes over there.
Oh, but over there isn't here.
We're going to die. We're going to get stabbed in the middle of the night.
Oh, why do you think that?
Because you don't seem capable of performing a watch.
Because you didn't know I was here.
See?
But that's you, though,
If
Sulan.
Sulan was
How would anyone
else,
be able to find you?
you'd be dead by now. You know there are bandits out there who are almost as good as Sulan.
I don't believe it.
That one that you said approached you and then left.
Yeah.
Did you hear him approach?
No. She kind of just appeared.
And left.
Yeah.
And did you hear anything?
Not really.
Because you were too busy reading.
No, he wouldn't have been reading after, but he was definitely reading beforehand.
Yeah.
Don't read on watch. I know it's...
But it's like the best chance I get all day to read. It's so convenient that I can memorize all my spells, and then
Well,
I mean, you could read while Sulan and I were sparring before we even...
I was busy then, though.
What were you doing then?
I was practicing
Practicing what?
how to fight with my staffs, since I can't use magic so much here.
mean, it's okay to read a little bit before the sun's gone down, but when it's dark, you kind of need to keep an eye on things. It's the whole point of watch. It's watch, not read.
It's really boring, though.
It is boring.
It's not supposed to be interesting. It's supposed to be just something you do to keep everyone alive.
To keep us all alive.
So,
Don't put the fire out. For our safety and yours.
what if I just use my wand light?
Because you don't have your wand.
Also,
Yeah, but-
that's still going to cause the same problem. People are going to see that from a mile away.
The light attracts people, animals, and things. You're lucky that we didn't have anything attack us. These, what were the boars you said?
Romanian razor balls. Oh, but on other watches, like cute little deer and rabbits and stuff came up to the camp. It was really nice.
That was in Merland.
Yeah.
This isn't Merland.
Well, I
you
know
grew
that.
up in this area. You should know.
that.
Thank God you're not in the Moradin mountain range where you have to worry about the Moradin anger bears.
But then the nugs also come up and they're cute.
So that's probably a good reason why
And
the
edible.
smears weren't working.
And the meeks.
Why is that?
Because they're coming to the light as opposed
And the
to
queries.
the snares.
I mean, I don't know anything about how that works.
Well, they're attracted to the light as opposed to the bait.
I suppose. I mean, I usually feed them.
Go to sleep.
Right, so where we're going to end it is you're in about mid-morning, about halfway through your journey, you come across a small town that isn't marked on the map, and we will leave it there as you come up to the town.
That was The Champions of Jor-Karroc, an archival recording of an AD&D 2.5 edition pen and paper role-playing game night. The opening credits music was Lords of the Sky from the Battleforge OST. These musics are used in a non-profit archive tabletop session played and no ownership is expressed or implied. Video footage from the intro is credited in its video format. The preceding game night may have contained music and sound from Imogen Heap, George Michael, Evanescence, Age of Wonders 2, Aeon, Baldur's Gate 2, Battle Realms, Battleforge, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Conan the Barbarian, Consortium, Daggerfall, Dark Souls 2, Darksiders 2, Demon's Souls, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, Divinity 2, Dragon Age Origins, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, D&D Official RP Soundtrack, EverQuest 2, Fable The Lost Chapters, God of War 2, God of War 3, Guild Wars, Eye of the North, Guild Wars Factions, Guild Wars Nightfall, Guild Wars Additional Music, Heroes of Might and Magic 5, Hitman Blood Money, Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning, Krull, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, Lords of the Fallen, Lord of the Rings, War in the North, Morrowind, Vampire the Masquerade, Oblivion, Pillars of Eternity, Risen, Sacred 2, The Settlers 2, The Settlers 5, The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3, The X-Files, Trine 2, Unreal Tournament 2004, Wolfenstein The New Order, Fallout New Vegas, Golden Axe, Age of Conan, RoboCop, Blind Guardian, Deus Ex, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach, The Hobbit Trilogy, The Star Wars Special Edition Trilogy, The Star Wars Prequel Trilogy, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, Serenity, the Star Trek movie soundtracks, Star Wars The Old Republic, Manos, The Hands of Fate, Babylon 5, Gran Turismo 5, Deathstalker, Phantom of the Opera, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, Desadia Duodecim, miscellaneous other classical music, sound effects, or fantasy tracks taken from YouTube, too numerous to list. Music is used as a non-profit manner to enhance gameplay and is included in the archive as audible on the night. If you would like to be credited for your music and it is not listed here, please send a message to the channel and a proper credit will be applied in the description and future audio credits. The preceding archival recording contains strong language, sexual references, adult themes, and should not have been listened to if you are under the age of 18, have a history of mental disorders, lack coping skills, a chronic inability to press stop or back buttons, find said material offensive, are easily upset, disgusted, offended by puns, are pregnant, or have no sense of humor.
scripture. It's found in 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse number 11. It says that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. And people, as the body of Christ...